Presidential approval ratings are practically irrelevant and mostly meaningless. I'll explain. A new poll says both Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have some of the worst approval ratings in history, but does it matter? Aside from a small number of independent voters, every registered Democrat who voted for these awful politicians with America Last policies will go right back to the polls again next year and then in 2024 and vote for whoever has a D by their name, basically ignoring policies, platforms, and procedures. I'm David Fiorazzo, and this is Christ and Culture. So this new poll finds disapproval with Biden at 59% and job approval at 38%. But who are those 38%ers that approve of how he's running the country? Kamala Harris is even worse at 28% approval. But the strange thing is that only half of voters surveyed disapprove of her job performance. Wait, what does she do again? You know it's bad when even some Democrats think the country is not being managed properly, while other Democrats say we're going in the wrong direction. But they'll keep on voting for Democrats, which means more chaos, division, godlessness, communist policy, Marxism, and anti-American agendas. So raise your hand if you're tired of politics. The only way you can make sense of this is to understand there are two stark contrasts when it comes to governing a nation like America. And there's a gaping divide when it comes to worldview. Are you tired of the political ping pong game yet? Sure, historically in elections, one party wins seats in the Senate or House of Representatives and maybe gains the majority. Then, within 2 to 4 years, the other party takes back those seats. But this USA Today poll shows that right now, in this cultural and national moment, most American citizens are fed up with the Fed and policies of this president. Does it matter? Sadly, people have such short attention spans. By next year, much of the destruction will be forgotten. Oddly, though, it appears the radical left Democrat Party are not backing off, but they're digging in their heels even deeper when it comes to their goal to transform the country into their own image. Now, one thing in this survey is a bit confusing, or at least it seems so. Either these voters want global socialism in America, or they are ignorant about what they're voting for. Which is it? For example, voters were nearly split about the Build Back Better Act, which really is communist policy on steroids. Now, I just don't think people understand what that means. The country they say they love has to continue being deconstructed and weakened in order for the leftists to build it back, quote, better. Of course, the word better can be interpreted very differently, right? Now, another thing to note here is when people say Biden is doing a worse job as president than they expected, this is interesting because it reflects directly on the Democrat platform and policies. Now, everyone knows Biden isn't doing the governing, right? He's extremely limited in his ability to perform his duties, obviously. So people's disappointment is with the globalists and power elites who are really in charge. Interestingly enough, the highest number on this new poll is 66. That's a majority of respondents who feel like America has gone down the wrong path. Another majority say they don't want Biden to run again. Well, of course Democrats want someone else to run in 2024. Biden is clearly the worst president in American history. Well, somewhere, Jimmy Carter breathes a sigh of relief as he gladly sheds that awful label of worst president. Now, let's wrap this up. Stay with me here. Remember, both Biden and Harris have historically horrendous approval ratings right now, and most say the country is on the wrong track. It's in shambles. But check this out, because this is why polls are pretty much a complete waste of time even to speculate about. According to far left USA Today poll, if the presidential election was held today, and if Donald Trump ran against Joe Biden, 44% said they would vote for Trump, and 40% said they would vote for Biden. 11% would select an unnamed third-party candidate. Now, add in the traditional cheating and voter fraud, and the Biden Democrats squeak out another victory over the American people. I mean, over the Republicans. However, if you're Christian, conservative, Republican, or independent, or if you just love America, there is a glimmer of political light in this story. According to the pollsters and election history, the party of a president with an approval rating below 50% is usually on the verge of seeing a blowout in the midterm elections. For instance, Republicans lost 41 House seats in the 2017 midterms when Trump's approval rating was, ready, 37%, thanks to the Democrat media. Wait a minute. Is the liberal, socialist, globalist media accurate? They would have us think that President Trump's approval rating was lower than Joe Biden's current disaster? No way. Now compare their policies and Trump accomplishments for starters, but that's for another story, another conversation. How quickly we have forgotten what the Trump administration accomplished. Check out just some of these things. The appointment of more conservative originalist judges, ongoing lower taxes and deregulation, funding for a stronger military, further restrictions on abortion, and protections on life in the womb, more school choice, strong support for Israel, border wall nearly completed, protection against Islamic terrorism. The Trump administration defended free speech on college campuses, protected school children by demanding separate boys and girls sports teams and locker rooms, more trade agreements that were fair to the U.S. They stood up to China and Russia, solutions to the problem of high drug prices, and strong protection of religious freedom and freedom of conscience. And that's a short list. So I've said this so many times, so forgive me for being redundant again. At the risk of oversimplifying, this worldview war is about power. And it comes down to three words: God or man. We're either going in one direction or the other. So if your hope is in people, politics, polls, or possessions, you will always, or most often, be disappointed and left empty. But if your hope is in the one true living God, as well as the forgiveness and salvation provided by Jesus Christ, you will be encouraged to live with power in the present and faith in the future, because you know He is sovereign and in control. Bottom line, keep seeking first the kingdom of God. Don't believe the liberal media. Don't trust the polls. And do trust in the name of the Lord our God. God bless you, and keep speaking the truth about things that matter.
Hey team, most of you know our shows have been censored by Facebook and YouTube for years, which makes it very hard to keep up with the cost of production.
But thanks to our Patriot Club members, we have not only been able to keep things going, but to add more programming. We're doing 18 new shows a week. 18.
In fact, we've got big plans in motion for our viewers, especially our Patriot Club members.
So please consider supporting our freedom-loving media by joining the Patriot Club this year. For a $99 tax-deductible donation, we will send you our 20-ounce stainless steel navy blue tumbler etched with the words American Patriot, standing atop the shoulders of a rather fit-looking George Washington.
And for $129 gift, we'll also include a 15-ounce stainless steel mug as a token of our appreciation. All you have to do is visit patriotclub.us and become a Patriot Club member today.
That's patriotclub.us. Thank you, and God bless.